Hey y'all, welcome to How You Grievin. And this episode is brought to you by myself and Dr. Kreative. And Dr. Kreative is my special guest. However, we have flipped the script. He is interviewing me and asking me how I'm grieving. And I get into past and the present of my grief. And I get into some family stuff and I get into some more family stuff. And I hope you enjoy this episode with Dr. Kreative and me, my black self.
How you grieving?
Hi, Dr. Kreative.
Hello, my black self, Malcolm.
You know, it's so good to have you.
Is it?
It's always good to have you. I was
Oh,
thinking the other day, maybe like yesterday, I was like,
mm.
my friend calls me Malcolm, my black self.
It's because your name is Malcolm, and I'll be trying to like get in your other name.
And I'm like, maybe it only sounds weird when I say it. I don't know.
What's the best way to say it? Just my black self.
I don't know. I think I like Malcolm, my black self,
Yeah, Malcolm, my
but
black self.
it sounds weird when I say it. So
But why? It's
yeah.
cool. My name is Malcolm, my black self. So how you doing, friend?
I'm well, friend. I'm a little tired.
Yeah,
A lot going on.
like what?
My mother's about to move here.
Oh yeah, I remember you talking a little bit about that.
So that's exciting. So I'll be up there soon to come get her. Don't ask
Mhm.
me a date because I feel like they change daily.
Okay.
Um, but I know we talk end of the month. Uh, you know, uh, Yesterday was Juneteenth, and I'm going back to not wanting to celebrate holidays.
Okay. Why?
And at a certain point, I was like, well, would I just celebrate the black holidays or do I just want to like not celebrate holidays? Um, I just don't get joy when holidays come around.
Do you need to have joy in order to celebrate the holiday, Malcolm, my black self?
Like, I don't know. It's just something in me that's just like, it's not important. I mean, certain days are important to some people, right? But for me, I haven't gotten that. I mean, I've been this way like my entire life.
You feel that way about Juneteenth out of all the holidays?
I feel that way about all the holidays.
Okay.
Yeah, and like a few years ago, I was like, well, I'll just celebrate all the black holidays. But now I'm starting to feel that way about all of them.
So what made you say that about yesterday is my question. So something
So,
had to happen that made you feel like, well, I shouldn't celebrate. What
no,
was that?
nothing happened specifically. It just was a holiday. So I figured I'd just bring it up.
And does that connect with your you're grieving with your sister? Is that the reason why? Like it still reminds you of your sister, like something you could have um had to celebrate with your sister? That makes you not want to celebrate the holiday?
No, because we wasn't celebrating Juneteenth.
Right. Right. We're 4th of July people. Right,
Yeah, 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 yeah,
right.
yeah. Potato salad and
I ain't
cake.
celebrating that shit no more. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just so much that goes on between these holidays. It just feels like it's so much pressure. Everybody gathers. I don't know. Maybe it could just be like a real personal thing with me trying to get out of holidays. And so many people around me like to celebrate everything. And I be trying to get out of it.
Would you say that that's connected to? And I'm not trying to get too deep. Do you think that's a little bit of isolation, depression going on in there that makes you not just want to be in environments of people celebrating, and you just kind of want to like isolate yourself from anything that reminds you of happiness because it gives like why I'm hear you speaking, but it's not giving like a really good definition.
Yeah,
So I'm trying to get to the root of it.
I don't know. I mean, I know I feel that way specifically when it comes to Thanksgiving and Christmas,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
you know. And I get dragged into those too. Now that I'm here in Atlanta, I have family that enjoys celebrating every holiday that exists.
Right, right.
And I just be like, could y'all just leave me out of
So how's that when it comes down to your birthday?
it? It's just another year. I haven't really celebrated my birthday. Well, I mean, like this year, I just took some time to myself and what I do, I went for a walk and got
Okay.
coffee. I was so excited to do that. Um, but it's not huge to me. Like how some people are like, oh, it's my birthday. I got to do this. I got to do that. We doing here. We going here. I've never been that way. I'm just like, okay, it's my birthday.
Now that is something that we both have in common. You know me for quite some time now. I don't celebrate my birthday either, but I've had a surprise party that you was a part of that I didn't know nothing about. And this year I'm celebrating my birthday because it's a milestone.
Yeah,
Other than that, I feel like it's usually another day. I'm grateful for being alive.
yeah.
Um, I think that's just like the biggest thing for me, just being happy that I'm alive one more day, you know? Um, Outside of this, though, how have you been doing? Because I mean, you've had a transition from the East Coast further down on the East Coast, because I believe that that's still considered the East Coast for some reason. Um, and so, how has that transition been for you? And also being in a place in which a lot of things happened in Atlanta for you. How has that transition been for you since you moved?
Hi, thank you for listening to How You Grieving. Thank you for watching How You Grieving. Also, why haven't you subscribed yet? Why haven't you liked this episode? Why haven't you commented on this episode? And why haven't you shared it yet? What are you doing? You ain't got nothing else to do. Gas prices is high, so you need to be in the house, and food costs too goddamn much for you to be outside parlaying. So you need to be in the house cooking. And while you're doing that, you could be watching this episode and clicking and doing something. Okay? Thank you for watching. I love you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Melissa.
And I'm Athena.
And we are the proud owners of Lip Block LLC. You can follow us on Instagram. We just are so proud and honored to be a sponsor for the My Black Self, How You Grievin podcast. And just remember, you can follow him on TikTok and on Instagram and on YouTube. Make sure you like, share, and comment.
And subscribe.
And subscribe. And just know that even though you are grieving, you have a place to reach out to talk to somebody, and we are so proud of you.
Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Kreative, the CEO of Eastern Creative Agency, and I'm super proud that I am able to sponsor How You Grievin, the podcast by Malcolm, My Black Self. It has been a wonderful process with him. I actually just did a show with him. Make sure you guys support, share, and repost, as his podcast is something that is all about healing. We're proud to sponsor. Eastern Creative Agency is very proud. See y'all later.
It's been beautiful. I know we spoke on this before, but before I moved here, I thought I needed to come here to like grieve Atlanta
Right.
or like
That's what I'm
grieve in Atlanta, but I
Yeah.
didn't get that opportunity and I ended up moving to Dallas. So when I came back here, like that wasn't in my brain anymore and I was grieving and I didn't even know.
And what did your grieving look like for you?
Um Pure oblivion. Like random sadness, like random attitude, uh just having a good time doing whatever I felt the need to do, random crying when I realized where I was driving around to in Atlanta.
Yes.
um
Yes.
I had a friend, well, we're still friends. My friend Tyree here, we had went out one night. We went to
Mm,
Bulldogs.
okay. Did you enjoy yourself at Bulldogs? I didn't know you went to
Like
Bulldogs.
Bulldogs and I
You're
ended
not a
up,
Bulldogs guy. You like Bulldogs.
I don't like it.
Oh, I'm like, it's not given that you're a Bulldogs guy.
No,
So
I'm not a Bulldogs guy.
I'm not a Bulldogs. It's just, okay, anyway, finish the story. It just surprised me. What?
uh, right.
Go ahead.
But his husband had drove home and I was like, I'll bring you home. And I was like, they lived on the south side.
Hmm.
And I avoid the south side, which a certain part of the south side. We know the airport's on the south side, and I was going back and forth to the airport,
Right.
but I've avoided where I lived on the south side. Now, for those Atlanta folks, Washington Road, baby, East Point side, or was it College Park? One of those,
So you don't know where you live. Go ahead.
child, because they're like this. One goes this way, the other goes this way,
Hmm.
and they're both called the same thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I ended up in my first apartment that me and my sister lived in. I was like, nigga, you really live here? Out of all the places you live here. So the one place I was avoiding, I had to face.
So wait, he lived in the same apartment complex as y'all lived before?
Yeah, me and my
That
sister's
is
first apartment
crazy.
was out on Washington Road.
Mm.
It's a nice little cute little townhouse
Okay.
called Club Candlewood back in the day.
Ooh.
Um, so yeah, that was different. That's when I started to realize, oh, you might be having you might be having an experience. So I just sat there for a minute. I didn't cry or anything, but I just was like, wow. I sat in front of the apartment that we used to live in the car. And then I had went out to lunch with a
Hmm.
friend of mine and my aunt. And they were like, you still grieving your sister. I'm just waiting on you to realize that. And I was like, huh.
Yeah.
So that has been that, right? And it's been nice. And I'm in the house that we all lived in together at one
Mhm.
point in time. So that was an experience when I first got here. I was like, what the fuck?
How has that transition been for you? Like, how has that grieving? What does that grieving look like for you? I often watch your show and I enjoy your episodes. I think you're doing an awesome job. But one thing I've noticed that you may touch upon those things, but you don't necessarily get into it. So, as a friend, unlike the one people that you are interviewing, I'm asking for you to share what do those things look like for you, right? Point them out, examples. How have you been grieving? What are those things? Have it been moments where you just black out, or has it been moments of reverence? What are those things? Because you're living in a place in which you shared space with your sister. So, what are those things you are truly experiencing, and what does that look like for you?
So in this house specifically, there are things that my sister picked out that still exist here.
Hmm.
So it's joy and sadness all mixed up in a ball. Sometimes I'll just cry because I'm like, huh. And they're not like they're had and hard, not sad and happy tears.
Okay.
I haven't blacked out, but I do have times around Christmas and Thanksgiving. I realize, like, please just leave me alone. My
Yeah.
birthday specifically, I'll stay in my room.
Yeah.
I don't want any happy birthday texts. I don't want anybody to say anything to me
You're really
until
good.
I'm ready to be
Right.
acknowledged. Um, and that is because, she was the first phone call that I got. And it was
Yeah.
always a birthday song. So I rather just let me get through that each year because it's been each year. And then I can
Mhm.
acknowledge those happy birthdays. So it is up and down because like I have memories here every day. Like
Yeah.
there's not a time where it doesn't exist. I could be walking up the stairs and think of something from that I haven't thought of. I'm like, damn, that really did happen. Um, there's no blackouts. Uh, it's just randomness, but most of it is joy in a sense because
Mhm.
I'm glad I got to have those moments.
Mhm.
But yeah, and sometimes I just take it all in. Sometimes I'll go sit out in the backyard and just look around, like, or sometimes I'll sit in the house and I'm listening to music and I'll think about her. And my grandmother used to live here also.
Mhm.
So, and I have her bedroom.
Mhm.
So, but it doesn't hit because she lived.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it doesn't hit as hard. It's just like, oh yeah, my grandmother would have did that. Oh, I remember when she used to be over here or when she used to do this. So, I mean, it's nice to be in a space that the people that you love the most, used to be in. Um, So yeah, my grief is a roller coaster.
Do you feel your so it's been a couple of years since you've been grieving, and I think there is no time limit on grief, right? I think I still have like grief with the things that I've lost, right? So whether it's my cat that I lost that passed away with me that I'm not gonna talk about because I will cry. Or whether it's a job that I lost, right? That I really felt was something that I was happy in and then slipped away from me, you know? All those things as different forms of grief. Do you feel like the grief that you are dealing with, that you are constantly up and down, back and forth, which is okay dealing with, do you think that those things also sneak into relationships when it comes to you dating people, you giving your attention, your full self to people? Um, and yeah, I'm being messy because I'm also your friend, but I'm also trying to figure out, do you think that some of those things slide into like your dating scene? Whether it's been, oh, things are great, but now I just feel like I don't want to get this side of me. Do you feel like those kind of things seep into it? And honestly, just share.
Yes. I feel like the main part of me dating and grief is just like I don't
Mm,
I am
I love
almost
this. Because you can't think of what I'm loving this right now. It's like,
right. It's like a part of me like does not want to commit to
yeah,
anybody.
yeah.
And that grief also has to do with like the relationship that I was in.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, just
Because
let me
isn't that a point of grief too, right?
yeah.
You think that that last relationship, which was a lot of bullshit, and I hate your guts. But anyway, that last relationship has a lot to do with grief, right? And so, do you think
Yes.
that's also blocking the opportunity for some of these wonderful people that may be entering into your life to really receive who you are as a person?
Yeah. And you know what I have noticed is there was somebody that I was dating that I told you about, and you were like, well, why don't you just be with him if he got
That's
everything
how
you
I sound.
Yeah, yeah. Why don't you just be with him if he got everything you need? And I just like a part of me really does not want to be in a relationship. And it is because
Yeah.
of the traumatic ass experience that I had, which I'm almost to the point where I can be like, okay, let that shit go
Mm,
and like let somebody else in.
hmm
But it's still a wall here. And that person has seen that wall come down a little
mm.
bit.
Okay.
Excuse me. But I don't really want to let it come down fully
Why? Can you give me like the real truth of why you don't want to let it down?
because I really enjoy being alone and I enjoy being able to do whatever the fuck I want to do and
Well,
I being able to do whoever the fuck I want to do.
okay. But so that's the only part that you can't control. But if you're in a relation, if you're with someone, why does that change you having freedom? Why does that change you having time alone? Why does that change you getting up and going? It should not. My relationship doesn't do that. I can literally do as I please as long as I'm being respectful in my relationship. Now, I can't fuck someone else. Now, if that's something that you honestly love, then yeah, you're not in a place of wanting to be committed. But if it's like stuff like just being having freedom and needing time alone, a
Yeah.
person who truly honors you will honor that. You get what I'm saying?
Hmm. Yeah. I think once I don't know if I'm still healing from everything that happened. I could be. And that could be a part of the reason why I'm not fully ready to say, okay, I can be in this relationship. Because once I'm in a relationship, I can be faithful. That's not an
Oh, I
issue
know.
for me.
I know.
Yeah, I can turn
Light
into
skin devil.
a whole house husband. I can be a whole husband.
He didn't deserve you, child. He didn't deserve you. Oh, light skinned devil. I hate his guts.
I
Uh,
definitely right. I could be a whole husband, but a part of me is just, I'm really not ready. And I'm
Yeah.
acknowledging that
Yeah.
I'm really not ready for that. And
Hmm.
it's because I could be still grieving the person that I was last year.
You know what? When I'm asking you these questions, and when we're talking one on one, it's never that I'm rushing you to be in a relationship. I think take as much time as
Yeah.
you need. Hello, to do and feel and all the feels, because sometimes
Yeah.
when you are a good man, you don't want to waste that on random people. So you end up in relationships that you maybe rushed into or don't need to be a part of, that you probably needed more time to really cipher
Yeah.
out. And you are in the land of the gays. There's so many types of gay men in Atlanta. There's good ones, there's shady ones, there are all kinds of men in Atlanta. And so the smart thing to do while you're in a place in the land of gays is to experience the type of guy that you need to be spending the rest of your life with, if that's something that you want to do.
Yeah.
So I encourage you to take your time, but I also want to, as a friend, tell you, at some point when it comes to that part of grieving, I believe, and you can correct me, you're the king of grief. At some point when it comes to relationships, when it comes to relationships, you have to let the past that you've dealt with not affect what can be presently something great. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yes. 100%. Um, yeah, and I'm not the type to just jump into another relationship anyway. I mean, like before that, I was single for what, 3 years.
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't typically just jump in. I literally get out of a relationship, have a good time, live my best single life, and then when I'm ready, I'll acknowledge and be like, okay, I can do this now.
Mhm.
But also, like right now, I'm in Atlanta and I'm doing this podcast. I am trying to do other avenues that I'm not going to speak of on here, but you're aware.
Okay.
Like
Mhm.
I cannot fully get into a relationship just yet because I don't know where the hell my life is going to take me. Now, if I meet that person that's like, I see what you got going on, wherever your life takes you, I'll be ready. I'll ride with you, right? Then that's fine.
I
When
got
I
time.
get to the point that I can say okay to that. But like, I am on a straight up mission. Like, I've also never been this focused on the things that I want out of life.
Baby, he is not lying. Okay. He
So,
is on it.
and I will not allow anybody
Ooh,
to get in the way of what I got going on.
no, that's right.
So I mean, I'm very selfish or self-full, actually.
And it's okay to be selfish too.
Yeah, yeah. So that's another reason. That's another part of it. I just really want to be who I want to be.
In the army. Got it.
Yeah.
So one thing I also never really noticed that you don't talk about, and I am gonna encourage you to talk about, because we talked about earlier, like my different types of griefs, like I had the cat, I had the job, and things like that. But you did lose an animal, someone who's an animal that was in your life for a very long time. And I remember at that moment when you was going through those things, you kind of seemed numb, like you was ready for it. But that grief seemed a little different than the sister grief or the relationship grief. It kind of was like my cat was not doing so well. And I wanted to make sure she didn't have to live through this pain. How did you deal with that type of grief? And what was the difference between that and the sister? And how did you balance those things?
Um, the difference.
Hi.
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 I don't know. I guess the difference, because when it all happened, I was like you just said, I was like, I'm not going to put my cat through like human issues. Like I
Yeah.
get it. Some people can and they will, and some people really want that for their animal. But my cat was 12 years old, and I
Yeah.
was like, um, this isn't fair to
Yeah.
hospitalize this animal that is about to die if I decide not to, you know?
Yeah. Hmm.
Like, I mean, how much life is she really guaranteed? And one thing I do know that makes it different and makes me numb, I guess, is I also been working with animals here and there, but since 2015. No,
Right, right.
2012.
Hmm.
So like I am fully aware that none of these animals live forever. And when I get an animal, I mean I've had lizards and shit, but right. But like I've
Right.
had a cat previously and I knew she wasn't gonna live forever. Like I'm aware of those things and I've been a part of so many other people's and families um end of life conversations and like just being there watching the full process of it all. So
Hmm.
I think the thing that was different was I knew it was going to happen one day and it kind of happened suddenly.
Hmm.
I guess sudden death is a thing of mine.
Yeah.
But I had to just move on. Like, and it's so crazy because I had to go to work the next day.
Yeah.
And I told my
I was out of when mine's passed. I was out of work for at least a week. Like I couldn't do anything. I was out of order. I mean, I've never experienced death of an animal because in my mind, my cat, because it was a cat, I thought the cat was gonna live for like ever. I was like, I ain't never gotta worry about my cat dying. And if it was a dog, I probably like my dog now. I kind of feel like, all right, I have a small breed dog, maybe 10, 20, 20 10, 15 years, okay. But my cat, I was like, oh, my grandkids gonna be able to play with Bella, and so that's very interesting how you do that. And then went back to work. I've never experienced grief or emotions of death. Like I don't cry at funerals. I just went to a funeral yesterday. I don't feel anything. I'm like, it's supposed to happen. Like, all right, moving on. My grandma passed away. Like, oh, I love you. I loved you.
yeah,
Goodbye. Like you're
yeah,
in a better place. But my cat, I don't know what it was. I felt like I was losing a part of me. I was like, maybe because I'm like with that cat every day and that cat was with
yeah.
me like during my depression, during my last breakup, which was a very serious breakup for me. So that cat was like my healer, my baby, And I also have a son, so I know what it feels like to care for someone at a young age and throughout life. So it was kind of like that cat was taking place. So when you told me you went to work the next day, I was like, how did you do that? Because for me, I would have been bent over somewhere, boohooing and snotting, like I was. Like my other friend who's not my best friend, but used to be my best friend, but he's still my friend, Corey.
Hey,
He had to
Corey.
come. He had to come to my house and like move the cat, put the cat in the box. Like I could not go in that room. Me or LJ can go in there. So thank God for my non-best friend, who used to be my best friend, who's no longer my friend, just my friend, Corey. Him, because if without that, I don't know. That cat would probably still have been in that room because I would not have been in that room. Or I had to call your ass and tell you to come from Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Like you're laughing. I'm dead serious. I would have
I
paid for your ass
know.
to come.
I
Like
know.
I was not going in that room. Anywho,
Yeah.
how did you do that?
Um, I am, ever since I've gotten here, I've just been in motion. And I'm like, things have to continue. Like, nothing can
Yeah,
stop. Like, even when people die, nothing stops.
nothing, nothing.
There's still things to do. Now you got to figure out who gonna take the body, where the body gonna go.
Period.
You got to figure out
Period.
when is the funeral?
Yeah.
How we paying for the funeral? Did this person have everything set? You have
Oh,
to
okay.
figure all these things out so nothing can stop. So I'm like, okay, if I stay home because of sadness from my cat, what am I gonna do? Like, and it was the opening day, like the open house of my new job. I
Right.
was like, I don't have time for this. And the crazy thing about it is, what makes it even worse is I was supposed to bring my cat to take
Mm,
pictures so she could be in the hospital as like a photo in one of the
yeah.
rooms.
Yeah.
So it was even worse once everybody else brought their pets and they were like, "Hey, I thought you bring your
Mhm.
cat." And I'm like, "No, no." Like so, but nothing stops. My job was still gonna have an open house. I
Yeah.
mean, like, what was I supposed to do? You know
Right.
what I
Right.
mean? Like, you still have to go on, which sucks. And then to make it even worse,
Uh huh.
'cause we're going there.
Okay. Do it.
I wasn't talking to my father, so he decided that we needed to have a conversation. So this is the morning of. I'm headed, and it was like, it wasn't in the morning. The open house was like in the afternoon. So I was going to my friend's house,
Yeah.
and I had my dog with me. I was going to my friend's house because I needed him to watch my dog while I was at the open house for my job.
Yeah.
So then my father decides to call as I'm pulling up to his house, and we have a conversation. Now, backstory: we haven't talked. This
I
is
can't believe you're talking about this. I'm so proud of you. Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, this has been going on for a while, but
Yeah.
we had a family disagreement, and I felt some way, and I still feel some way, and he felt some way, and he still feels some way. I'm sure. Um, but throughout that conversation, it didn't go well.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing about it was he asked me how I was doing. I was like, I'm okay. Everything's fine. I'm about to go to work. I said, but I put my cat down in the middle of the night. And he was like, okay. And I'm just going to say, if you have a relationship with your family and you acknowledge that sometimes your feelings are never like validated on how you feel, there's a
That
problem.
ain't right.
There's a
That ain't right.
problem.
Yeah.
Deciding
Mm.
to have a conversation with me
About
about
some
our
bullshit.
family drama
Hmm. Hmm.
and
Hmm.
taking all of your anger out on me about our family drama, that was
Yeah.
not the right time.
No.
And then discovering that your family has had issues with you for a long time. That wasn't the time. I didn't need to hear certain things you know, that were said. And I'm going to share one of them. One of them where, we've been there for you and blah, 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 blah. When you got arrested, we had to bail you out because nobody else had the money, my mother specifically. It was like they were throwing shots at me and holding on to things that happened 20 plus years ago that technically had nothing to do with me. You could have left me in jail. I would have been fine.
Mhm.
I would have been fine in that holding cell. I was fine. I didn't beg you to let me out.
Yeah.
And then finding out, they slightly got evicted because of me.
Mm.
And I'm like, you know, and more to the story is, they were like, me, this was at the point where I was talking to my stepmom, and she was like, your sisters were worried about you, around the time where you were telling us you didn't want to live anymore. And in the back of my mind, I was thinking, I lived in Connecticut at this time, and no one showed up at my door. How
Mm.
worried about me were you? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, that's
Yeah.
very interesting for you to say you were worried about me, but you didn't show up. I could see if you were worried about me and I was still living in Texas, but I was in Connecticut, my love.
Hmm. Hmm.
And also, I ended up saying to her, I said, you know how many times my father came to visit me after Kia died? And she was like, I don't know. I said, we'll give him grace and say 2 times. Like, please, cut it out. And then, my little sister tried, she finally got involved this year and sent a really extreme text message. And I was like, my love, you have no idea of the history.
Yeah.
You have
Shut
no
up.
idea. And
Hmm.
I don't have family drama. So this is very interesting to me. But anyway, what's your next question?
I mean, you just unloaded a lot of stuff. I have a lot of questions for you. But also, that this interview is can't be that long. We're already like over our time. But I do want to say to you, um, and I also made a clip about it. People often say that family is blood is thicker than water, right? They always say that. Um, but when your family is toxic, that blood can really just go throughout your body and make everything horrible. I say for you, as your friend, always keep an open mind and space for love within those parts of your life, but also remember you come first, and people need to give you the same energy that you give them. And also, if people don't care enough to check up on you, see how you doing, come see about you in your time of need, and it's obvious that you are in that time of need, allow yourself to find another group of people to even be around, or even focus on yourself so that you don't have to worry about those things. I hate when people are so selfish and not connected to the point where they can't even hear that a person is in a place of downness. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not talking bad about your dad because I don't, but I have a different relationship with my father.
Yeah.
So when it comes to, those moments of like you sharing and then not getting nothing back, that is a really bad feeling. And you don't have to have that relationship with that person. And I think when those relationships need to be healed, they will happen on its own. And I've just shared, like I reached out to my father about some bullshit. My grandmother, she's not doing too well or whatever, so she does a whole, I really want you and your dad to really work it out. I need that kind of thing before she, whatever.
Yeah.
So me being the favorite grandchild, I try to do the right thing and I go talk and I have those conversations. And what I've learned is that people, especially of that generation, they do not like to take accountability. They'll listen to you, but they won't take accountability because they don't know what it means to say sorry. Also, they weren't an environment sometimes where they had parents who taught them how to love, how to say that they're sorry, and how to be responsible for actions. And so in those moments, I just say, remember the generation that they come from and the things that they've dealt with, and remember that we're more enlightened than them. And we do require more than them. And I'm sure that my son requires more of me than anything else because his generation's real sensitive. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we may be awakened, but not only are they awakened, my son generation, they're awakened, but they're also like a little bit more, you know, a little more soft than we are. So in those moments, I say, focus on yourself, bro. And I don't have many more questions. I just wanted to give you that sense of
No, I mean, if you have
encouragement.
more questions, that's fine.
Okay, I don't want to, because I don't want to be like hogging the screen or whatever. But I
No,
do. Go ahead.
no.
Okay.
And this is to hog the screen.
Okay. Okay. I just want to make sure because I've been talking a lot and I'm very nosy. So okay, so then my question would be this. In the line of your sibling relationships and where you stand, do you think that there has been work put into the relationships through your parents to make sure that that relationship with the siblings is strong? And I say that because if the idea of grief has not been put into accountability into the situation, has that damaged the relationship between you and your other siblings? How does that work for you?
Yeah, the relationship between me and my siblings is damaged. Mainly because, it was mentioned to me that they felt like I only had one sister. And honestly, I felt that way too. Now, there is another sister, and me and her have a different relationship. So I do want to point out that I am
This is the
not.
one that lives in Atlanta, right?
No, 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 no,
I thought y'all was cool.
no.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
there is a sister that I think understands me and how I operate.
Okay.
Um, and we have a different relationship now. We have not spoken on this
Mm, mm,
recently.
mm,
We touched on it last year when she was here. We slightly talked about it. I don't know if she's staying
mm.
out of it or if she knows some things. Um, but I kind of just want to. I'm gonna keep her out of it unless she decides she wants to talk about it. Um, she's told me to reach out to my other sisters, but ultimately we're all grown.
Yeah.
You know, um, and that relationship is damaged. And it's
Mm,
officially been damaged from a text message that I received.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, Granted, I can pick up the phone too, but if you felt so froggy, you could have picked up the phone to have a conversation with me. I'm not going to play this game of I'm the big brother and I should be doing this and I should be doing that. No, we're all still adults. And if you would have called me, I would have picked up my phone and we could have had
Yep.
a conversation.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
I'm not used to a relationship like that. Like me and my older sister, we were, if we were gonna argue, we were gonna argue, but we were gonna be friends the next day.
Do you feel like they don't feel like they've gotten that part of you because you talk about your other sister a lot? Do you feel like they may be jealous of that, or like you don't care about them enough to even build that relationship because you've already had someone who was really close to? I'm playing the devil's advocate.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that I don't care about them enough or that much. It's that like you gotta remember, I grew up with my older sister. We lived in the same home. I don't ever remember my parents being together. You know, so my dad cheated on my mom and had a child,
Mm,
and then
Rolling Stone,
and then he wasn't no Rolling Stone child, and then
mine.
he got married and had two kids, and I was a teenager.
Okay.
And me as a person now, I don't like kids. I've worked with children, but I don't want to babysit your child. These are things that I don't want to do. I'm not a fan of kids, right? Sibling or not. I'm sorry. It just was what it was. And back in my teenage years, I was trying to be a fucking teenager. I didn't have time for
Yeah.
no kids.
Yeah.
So I mean that is a part of why the relationship is so, and then
Got it.
also like being around my family. I'm gay now, like, okay, whoop de doo, So I think that plays a part into why the relationship has always been weird. And I think things that happened between my parents played a part into why our relationship had a strain on it. And I also think me being so on the go or like trying to do different things with my life is also a reason why our relationship has strained, because you know me, I'm gonna, if I want to be somewhere, I'm gonna get up and go.
Period.
And building a family of friends, like
Yeah.
I've always had family within on
Your
my
friendship.
mom's side. Like I always have my sister, I always have my aunts,
Hmm.
and I always had my friends.
Hmm.
I was never in need of anything else
Shout out to
until,
Melissa. All right, go ahead.
what you say?
So shout out to Melissa.
Shout out to both of y'all. But also, like, and then as I got older, I became an adult,
Yeah, for sure.
and I was also being a big little brother to my big sister.
Yo, what I've noticed in my situation is that my father played my me and his other children against each other. So he would tell them, oh, he doesn't want to see you. Oh, Eileen, my mom, won't allow him to come over here, those kind of things. In reality, that was never the truth. Now, I haven't had much conversation with my siblings, but from what I hear from the talking back and forth, is that, my father felt as if I loved my grandmother more than I loved him, which is true because I live with her and that's your mother and I never seen you growing up. So that's a whole nother fucking story. And you never came to visit me, nor did you ever bring any of your other children to come see me. So now that we're older, and there's been a time in my life where I wanted to have like take a picture with all 10 of my siblings. Like I wanted us all to get together, get to know each other. I wanted to know my nieces and my nephews. Like I wanted to do all that, but I realized as we got older, there was never a foundation put there that allowed us to feel like we needed to do anything. There was never no authority figure saying, "Hey, y'all need to get together." I maybe seen them twice throughout my life growing up, and talked to them maybe 4 times on the phone throughout all my almost 50 years on this earth. You get what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
so it's like I think some of that responsibility, though my heart wants to be a better brother, and I am the third oldest of them all. You know what I mean? I want to be a big brother for them. It's not something that's going to happen because my brothers on my father's kids have their own lives, their own experiences with my father. They think my father is like the best thing in the world, which is a fucking whatever, right? And maybe he is the best thing in the world to them. but
Yeah.
my experience has been different for them. So I also have to put into play, like, though the relationship has never been established between my siblings, um, a lot of that responsibility does not lie on them. That relationship between us does not lie on me or on them. It lies on the adults that were in our lives. And so it can be a hard thing to swallow that, communication sucks and they may hate me. I know, like, my sister, I'm not gonna say her name because she's so, I won't even say anything about her because she's super different. You know what I'm saying? But she feels like, she told us one time when I think it was like sibling day, and I had made a post, like a collage of all my siblings. She was like, "Don't post me and this, and you are not my brother. I do not know you. You have never checked up on me." I'm like, "What the fuck, bitch? We've tried to get in contact with you, but for some reason those things doesn't happen." So now I'm rambling. But anyway, I said it to say, um, you can't control the relationship with your siblings. And if they want to change, like you said, they would change. If they want to have a reach out, you reach out. Age ain't nothing but a number, so it doesn't matter if you're the oldest or not. So fuck that.
Yeah, I felt like the pressure was always on me. And I'm not going to sit here and say my father didn't reach out to me and be like, call your sisters, call your sisters. Like, but there's only so much of forcing a relationship that you can do.
If they want it, they want it. If they don't, they don't.
Well, if the relationship gonna be a relationship, it's just gonna be one. But it was just always forced. You should do this. You should do that. You should do this. You should do that. It's like, damn.
And that goes with your father too, though. If he wants a relationship, he could have one if he learns how to have a conversation.
Yeah, but I'm not allowing anybody to talk to me. I'm not talking to him right now. He's reached out to me, and I have
Okay.
not responded. Because I'm not the type of person like at this age, you only get to say crazy things to me one time.
Period.
I have the
Period.
power. I have the
Period.
power to talk to you when I'm ready.
Yep.
When and if. I don't know if I'll ever be ready. You know what I mean? So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. But like I have control over my life and I am a fucking adult. So I have the power to decide who I want to have access to me and when I want that to happen. And I
Okay.
think, certain adults forget that. They think, okay, I said this to you, let's just move on. No. No, because in this moment, you have truly let me know who you are
Yeah.
and how you feel about me. So
Yeah.
now I, as a grown man, have to take that in and try to understand that. So I'm not ready to have a conversation with you yet. And
Mm.
I pray that you are well. I do. And I hope that one day I'll be ready. I hope that day comes.
To close this out, what are some things that people need to know within grief? And even just preparing for grief, because some people do know that people are going to pass away. Are there certain resources that people should do, like whether it's like insurance, whether it's like preparing the space so that it's ready for the determination of the person? Is it a hotline they can call? Should they contact you? Like, what are the things that people should do to prepare for grief when they know that grief is on its way?
I think you need to get into therapy. And I think what people need to acknowledge is like, no one's going to live forever. Like, and I'll try to have this conversation with some of my friends, and they don't want to talk about it. They just want to avoid it.
Mm,
Like,
mm.
it's something that is going to come. Like,
Yeah, it is.
I think once you know that and acknowledge that, then your possibilities are endless. Like, you can
Yeah,
handle some shit.
yeah,
Um, and of course, like, make sure
yeah.
you got insurance.
Baby.
And sometimes you may have to take out a life insurance policy on somebody
And I
because
have actually.
how many GoFundMe's can we do?
Oh, I'm not doing them. We should have had it together. We're too old now to not know what to do.
I mean, like no GoFundMe's, and like I think also people need to realize like how necessary is a funeral?
Mm,
How necessary is it to dress somebody up that is deceased to say
mm,
goodbye?
mm. I think I agree with you in that nature. The funeral may not be all that important, but I do feel like when I pass away, I want a celebration. I don't necessarily need a funeral, but so you can like burn me up or whatever the fuck you had to do. Bury me, whatever my son decides he wants to do with me. I really don't care. Whatever is more meaningful for him to do with his grief, right?
Yeah.
But I do want, and I think so. All right, so boom, and then we'll call it that. So boom. If I knew that I was passing away, I want that service while I'm alive. I want to see the folks. I want to hear the folks. I want all the things. I want the songs while I'm alive, right? And then do whatever with the body. But so this is a lot right now. But if I'm suddenly gone or whatever, um, I don't want them to spend a lot of money on take my insurance policy and stuff and take that money and live life, right? But
Yeah.
maybe get like a VFW hall or something like that and have some good soul food and some good desserts and remember me just by talking. And that would be all that I really need. What would you want?
Um, I kind of just want to be burned up, and you can do something with my ashes. I don't know exactly where I want my ashes to be. I think I need to hurry up and do like a lineage thing and figure out where my people came from, and I would like my ashes to be there. Um, do
We
not
should.
put me in water.
Okay.
Do not. Do not go to the motherfucking beach and scatter my ashes in the river or the ocean. I don't like water. I like to look at it. I don't want to be in it.
We should do an event where a couple of people get together and they plan their last days. That would be really good.
Oh, I like that.
I, I think
But
that'd
let
be
me
really good. Sorry, go ahead.
we gotta we
I,
gotta schedule that for real.
for real,
Um,
for real. Yeah.
but yeah, just I kind of just want that to happen, and then I want people to go about their day. We don't need to. And if you want to celebrate, have some different wing options.
Okay. Well done or not well done?
However you would prefer. It's gonna they need to
Okay.
be cooked live in the moment.
I know that's
But
like fresh.
but I don't want anything to stop because I'm not here anymore. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Hmm. We need to do that event. That's gonna be so freaking fly.
Just keep life going. Just have me cremated, and then get the necklace made or whatever you decide to do with that. I don't give a damn. I'm not
I
here.
want a tree. I want a tree planted with my ashes.
I mean, that's nice too, but
Yeah.
eventually that tree's gonna fall.
I want a strong ass oak tree that's not going nowhere, bitch.
Yeah,
Because
I
I don't
see
never
that.
fall. I'm always strong. I'm always.
Period. Okay. Period. Okay,
Anyway,
let me stop.
period. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Like one, okay. Anyway, thank you for this. I really appreciate our time. I do hope that we are able to connect more, and I hope that we do talk about that event. I think it'd be great. But overall, thank you for sharing on your podcast how we're grieving some of your story and some of your parts of what you're going through and how you deal with those steps. Because I think that your story is what's going to really help people really build the courage to deal with their grief that they're going through. So continue to do what you're doing. I appreciate it. And actually allowed me to realize that I've been dealing with grief that I've never ever dealt, really even know I was going through. And so I listened to your podcast. So continue to do that. Your flowers are here. I love you so very much. And continue doing your thing.
Thank you, friend. I love you. Thank you for doing
So
this.
absolutely. See you later.
See you later. Whew, I hope y'all enjoyed that episode. We have officially done another episode of How You Grievin', and I know this one was heavy, and what I took away from this episode is sometimes your experience is not about, or when you tell stories like this, it's not about putting your business on Front Street and being embarrassed and apologizing for the shit that you've told. It is strictly for somebody like me. If you have a platform like this, you kind of have to be just a little bit more transparent with where you are. And what I learned from this is it's okay to be transparent with where I am currently. And unfortunately, this is just the platform, or this is just the way I have to do things. Um, so I hope you enjoyed this episode of How You Grieving with myself. And I look forward to continuing to let y'all know my journey, because I may present like everything is okay, but everything's not always sweet with me. Uh, but I do my best to make it look easy because, like I said in the podcast, things still have to go on. You still have to navigate through life. Nothing can stop. Now, if you're the type that needs to stop things, that is fine. But I've gotten to the point in my life where I don't have time for that, which is why I'm always tired. But still, I don't have time. So I hope you enjoyed once again. And please do not forget to like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel at My Black Self with 2Ks. And I will leave Dr. Kreative's information down below because he has a long list of who he is. Stay tuned, and I'll see you next Sunday at 11:17 a.m. for another episode of How You Grievin'. Thank you. Bye-bye.